The work is mysterious and important, and we deal with the uncertainty it brings us in the way that Kier would have wanted.
Welcome back. My name is Nick, and I have Kyle here with me. Tech goes with a 0 on Instagram. He's a super talented artist. Go check him out. But today we're going to be talking about MDR. We've been doing so many different breakdowns here, from Severance to the characters, from Pety to Dylan to Irving to Hiar to Milchek. There's multiple Milcheks? We did a whole video. We're talking about it, theorizing. But we are back. We've been seeing all your comments on the channel. Hopefully Severance will be back. The writers are at least back. We're waiting for the actors. It's a whole thing, but if not, maybe Kyle will make his own art, his own comic book strip for season 2 if it never comes out. Just kidding, but go check him out on Instagram. I'm not putting that on his plate. But MDR.
It's going to be a 4-panel comic. It just says it was all a dream. There you go. All right.
So MDR is the group we really get to hang out with in Severance, and we really get to hang out because our main characters all work in MDR. So We're there with Mark, we're there with Irving, we're in Dylan and Hiar, and then of course Pety was a part of that too. And we follow Milchek and Miss Cobell, who oversees them all too. So it's been so much fun unraveling the mysteries. We're gonna be breaking down I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm gonna let Kyle just jump right into it.
Okay, so as Nick said, we're going to be covering MDR, which for all you guys out there, I'll give you a second to say what it is.
Macro Data Refinement.
Macro Data Refinement.
Macro Data Refinement.
Macro Data Refinement. Macro Data Refinement.
Macro Data Refinement.
That's right, Macro Data Refinement. Yes. So it's located on the severed floor of Lumen Industries, right? So MDR ID tags are blue. I'm just covering all the basics here first, right?
Which is very important when we see the uprising or the battle. Remember the painting?
Right, the green versus blue cards. And so the department is currently made up of 4 employees. The department head, which is Mark S. The senior refiner, which is Irving B. And then the junior refiners, Dylan G., because he is a G, hell yeah, and then Hiar, the most recent addition.
Because she's a rebel.
She's replacing. That's right, and she replaced Pety.
Yes.
Who
was the head of MDR?
Yes, he was the department head. Yes, yeah. And then a little background. So it's of course, as its adage says, its work is mysterious and important. Not sure if that's true or it's just the corporate Kool-Aid, right? But we'll find out. There is one department chief at a time who has a role in supervising the 4 employees and orienting the new employees, which would be in this case Ms. Cobell, right? And so a handbook is provided to new employees to help them orient to their new job. So a version of the MDR handbook was leaked to the Topeka Star by Margaret Peg Kincaid, right? Who was a severed
side story, right?
This was a part of the Lexington letter. Yes, side story. Yes, she was a severed employee of Lumen in MDR in Topeka, Kansas. Right? Not a lot going on in Topeka, Kansas. I hear. I don't know. Anyone watching? Anyone from Topeka? Let me know if there's something going on. I'd be interested. Anyway, now as for their purpose, right? What is MDR like? What drives them? Right? Why are they there? The core job of the refiners is to assess, identify, and sort files which consist of groups of numbers based on their different emotional responses they invoke in the refiner. Weird.
Very weird.
These are connected to the 4 tempers, or this is what we're assuming, right? So the initials WO stand for woe. These elicit melancholy or despair. FC stands for frolic, elicit joy, gaiety, ecstasy, right? DR, dread, elicit fear, anxiety, and apprehension in some way. And then MA, malice, elicit rage or a desire to do harm. And then there are numbers are identified and sorted into one of 5 bins, right? So the goal of the refiners is to make the bins have equal amounts of the types of numbers. I think this hints at why the MDR team doesn't always meet its quotas, because they might over sort into one particular, temper, right? Now, there are rewards to this, right? If you do a great job. So 10% complete gets you a pencil eraser. Wow. Astounding. 25% complete gets you a finger trap. Okay, getting better. 75% complete music dance experience. Given how the last one we saw went, I'm not too hyped about that. 100% complete, you get a caricature portrait. Amazing. That's great. I wonder who the guy is at Lumen who does the caricatures. Is he also severed?
Or maybe
does he just
it's another
constantly
mill check.
Jesus.
It's another milk chick. Yep. Maybe. I mean, it's anyone's game at this point, you know?
What? There might be a whole department that does drawings.
Nick, I hope to God that exists. It's just the caricature department, and it's just people slaving away. And it's like, how many employees are there at this place?
Can you imagine though? Because they're drawing the same guy over and over again, Dylan.
You know what? They've got. I mean, didn't they draw his face slightly different each time, or is it the same face just doing
like
different stuff?
Different stuff.
There's no, I would hope they'd have originality or something. Oh,
hey,
anyway,
these are fresh baby minds ready for more.
That's true. They just learned how to draw, really. Okay. So a refiner who presents exemplary work, though, may be designated as refiner of the quarter by the department chief and receives a waffle party.
That's good. There's going to be a whole other breakdown video on the waffle party alone.
And let me tell you what the hell a waffle party is, everyone, all right? Get ready for some eyes wide shut stuff, okay? So a waffle party starts with a trip to the perpetuity ring, in which the recipient goes into Keir Egan's bedroom in his home. A home that is inside the Lumen building, by the way.
Yes.
The entire thing. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful Victorian sort of affair.
Creepy vibes.
Yes, very creepy. So in the bedroom, there's a table with a meal of waffles and syrup, right? Upon completion of the meal, writing on the plate tells the recipient to go to Keir's bed. On the bed is a mask modeled after Keir's face and a cat o' nine tails. Okay? The recipient dons the mask. When the mask is worn and the recipient is sitting on the bed, the recipient watches a sensual, erotic dance performed by 4 dancers masked as what we assume are dressed to look like the 4 tempers.
Yes. The painting.
And let me tell you, I felt some things when I saw that. Anyway, now, there are rules.
Yes.
While working, okay, for MDR, okay? Mm-hmm. There are many rules that are important to follow in MDR. Some of these include regular hand washing at least 10 times a day. Okay, germaphobes, anyone?
Yeah.
No maps, right? Staggered entrance and exit of the employees. Only 2 tokens for snacks per day. I didn't know this last one.
Yeah.
And that made me angry.
Yep.
Why do they have a stranglehold on the snacks?
I think we learned that from Dylan. System? Yeah, I think we learned that from Dylan.
That's right.
Talking to Hiar about it, I think.
That's right. Can you hoard meal token, or can you hoard snack tokens?
You could probably trade.
That, you know what? Oh, yes.
Barter system.
Like so now we're getting to the juicy bits. Okay, we know that there's a collection of files. We know that we get an insight into what they work on based on the names of the file they use to sort the numbers, right? The data. And so in episode 1, I'm going to actually list off the names. I also did a little bit of some side research and took a look at the names of the files, and they map to actual places. So episode 1, the file names are Tumwater, Bellingham, Cairns, Coleman, Culpeper, and Drainsville. Now, Tumwater is a town in Washington. Dylan was working on that. Bellingham is actually 2 places. I haven't confirmed which Bellingham it is. It's either in Washington State or Massachusetts. Then there's Cairns. There's which is Cairns City, Queensland, Australia. Then there's Coleman, which can be one of like 4 different places. There's a Coleman, Texas, Oklahoma, Michigan, and Coleman Falls in Virginia. And then Culpeper is a town in Virginia. Drainsville is also in Virginia, and that's the one Mark was working on. Now, episode 2, we have Jessup, Kingsport, Labrador, Lamars, which is in Iowa, Long Branch, Minsk, which is in Belarus, I believe, Moonbeam, Nanning, Ocula, Pacoima. Irving was working on this when he fell asleep. Sunset Boulevard, Allentown, which is in Pennsylvania, Sunset Boulevard, also California, right? And Lexington, which could be like, there's a Lexington in Kentucky, North Carolina, Texas, Virginia, South Carolina, take your pick, right? And then Siena, which was assigned to Heli. So there's also a theory going around that it has something to do with water, as many of these names correlate with bodies of water. Either these cities are like next to a dam, or they're on a lake, or they're by a river, right? Or by the ocean. And I would say that I like that theory, but not all of them map to that, right? So yeah.
I mean, it could be so many different things too. We talked about like it could be like a transplant for someone like that's about to die, or that they're sick and they're trying to find code for the cure, and that's why there's a time limit too, because they have a time before the person could die. Because remember, that's always timed. Everything's always timed. It's not like they have forever to solve this case. So there's a time limit to their completing 100%. So it can be a bomb thing, it can be car accidents, or it can be something where it's like it's very timed to when something needs to happen. And there's 4 of them too, and they all have to reach 100%. Remember how they were all waiting for Hiar to reach her 100%? So it's just like, what the heck could this be? What does this have to do with? Are they monitoring the people in their own town? Are they monitoring people elsewhere, or vice versa and stuff like that? So I mean, because we know car accidents happen,
right?
And we know after someone's in a car accident, if it's pretty deadly, maybe they have so much time to write the code or reprogram them that gets them into their system. We don't really know all this stuff. I mean, that could have happened with Miss Casey. So
Miss Casey. We know Miss Casey.
Yeah, we know Miss Casey is married to Mark, and we know there's a car accident involved with her death. So,
well, I will say I do like. There's one reason I like the water scarcity theory is because that makes Dylan's eel theory more relevant.
That's right. Yeah, no, it's very interesting. So, because like MDR too, they keep them separate from all the other departments. They don't like them meeting the other departments too and stuff, and that's a whole story plot.
See, that's the thing. Is it just MDR or is it all departments?
Well,
right? Like that's the thing.
What's his name? Irving and Bert. I was like trying to remember. Bert was like, he made it sound like they don't get interaction either, and it's a big shock too when MDR shows up. Remember, and everyone's
stopping what they're doing. Yeah,
and that's a whole other thing. We got to talk about Bert's the stuff they're making back there. To like, they have a watering pot. There's so many other theories out there. So other MDR theories too could be, it has to be maybe they're deprogramming their own mind too. They're working on their own mind at that time. You know what I mean? Because it's very much emotions that they see. So is it timed for some kind of thing? So there's a lot of very interesting things that go on there, because we know there's a lot of mind tricks going on there too. Well, I think that there's mind tricks going on. Technically, there's only one security guard that watches over them, but they make it feel like there's tons of people watching them. You can't bring stuff in the elevator, but you kind of can bring stuff in the elevator down, kind of thing, as we've seen through the Lexington letters and stuff like that. They have these scanners that can read text, kind of thing, but we never get to see anyone do it because Mark always stops Hiar, because it's like that monkey effect, right? It's where you scare them enough, then it kind of gets passed down. The monkey effect, that's what we're going to call it here.
The monkey effect.
MDR, there's a lot of mystery behind it. But that's the background in MDR. There's a lot of fun theories to go in there too. But I mean, even the fact that they placed Hiar a daughter of an Egan basically,
Right.
in MDR, so that has to be some kind of importance. Like they could have probably placed her anywhere if it was just for good PR for the company. It didn't have to be MDR.
No, her daddy put her where she could do God's work. All right.
Or Egan's work, or
Yes.
what's his name?
I mean, aren't they the same name? No.
That's another thing, guys. Subscribe. We're going to be doing Egan breakdowns, talking about all the different Egans and the history of them. There's so much that we're going to be talking about the goats. We're going to be talking about the chips that go in the brain. We're going to be talking about all the different theories. We still have Miss Cobell to do for a breakdown, I believe.
What a piece of work that woman.
Mm-hmm. So we have a lot of other characters, even Devin and maybe her connection to Pety. We covered it on the Pety episode, but we can go in a deeper dive for Devin and all that stuff too. And
other side
and maybe
of the
how
story.
Rickon might be an Egan. He definitely looks like one.
He certainly talks like one.
He definitely talks like one too. So subscribe, guys. Go to bestnerdyshirts.com. And by the way, every comment's entered to win a shirt from the bestnerdyshirts.com. Comment down below. But we do have Audi shirts.
These drumsticks are itching to
Announce the winner.
reveal the winner. Yeah.
We announce the winners on our live streams at the first Tuesday of every month. We do our best to do a live stream so we can announce the winner. We do have a new Severance shirt in the work. It might have to do with a goat, just to throw it out there. So subscribe.
Always teasing him with the goat.
Subscribe if you want to see the goat shirt. Follow Kyle on Instagram, Pegos with a 0. And on that note, we'll see you on the next Azart. Let's burn it to the ground. Quote Irving.
Oh, that's right. Actually, dude, what a great. I loved it. I was right